Hey, everybody, welcome to the Growth Marketing Recap Call. I'm Shane Rice, and I'm going to pass it over to Michael Preuss. He has someone new to introduce to our team, and so without further ado, over to Michael.
Thanks, Shane. Yeah, hey everybody. Very, very excited to welcome Tyler Williams to the team. He's going to join us as a full-time, full stack web developer. So teaming up with Lauren, really adding some amazing talents and abilities. And we're just really, really, I can't say like how lucky we are to have him. Got to know him pretty well through the interview process and this week of onboarding. And I think all of y'all are gonna, make a connection with him. He's a very approachable and interesting guy. So I encourage you to set up a coffee chat. Tyler, welcome to the team. Typically, we just have a couple questions to fire at you. So just to kind of one more GitLab focused and one just kind of random. So I'm always curious about this, and I asked this one of everybody, and only this morning I was thinking, I wonder how I would answer it, and I'm not sure. So I'd encourage everybody else, think about this one. It's kind of, I don't know, when I started asking it, I wasn't sure if it was even on the mark, but it's starting to become profound in my head for no reason. So maybe that's just me, but which of the GitLab values resonate the most with you and why?
Thank you. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. And excuse me, it's like cold here, so my throat is doing the cold thing. Yeah, it's a hard question because it's hard to choose one. I think that's the challenge. I really appreciate all of the values, and I think about them. I've been thinking about them quite a bit. But the one that's I think bubbled up to the top for me that does resonate most is diversity, inclusion, and belonging. And I think for probably two primary reasons. The first being that I have a somewhat non-traditional background into software, blended with some traditional background, but I've just been really fortunate that people that I've worked with throughout my career have been willing to look beyond that background and bring me in, and so I think that and I've benefited tremendously from that, and I think that many more people need to be afforded that opportunity, and I think that yeah, it's really important. It's made such an impact in my life, and I hope it, and I want other people to have that positive impact. And secondarily, I part of that background is I worked in I did nonprofit work for a long time directly out of college, and so I just have I have a background in diversity, inclusion, and belonging work, and it's got a lot of important memories and foundational work accomplishments to me, and yeah, it's always kind of top of mind for me and something that I take very seriously. So I think that's what I'm feeling today. But I got plenty of other answers for the other ones too.
Awesome. That's so cool to hear. Second, if you could trade places with anyone for the day, who would it be?
This is also a really hard one, but I think space is so cool. We did a Zoom background icebreaker, and my Zoom background was the bridge from the Starship Enterprise of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And and I actually, in my previous role, my last employer is Maxar, and they do space stuff, satellites, and Earth imagery. And so people would always ask me oh, if you could go to space, would you? And I absolutely would not. I'm terrified of heights and fast speeds, and you need all of those things to get to space. So I would trade places with anyone on the International Space Station for a day.
Cool.
Because I could get to space without all of the hard parts of getting to space, and I could be there, and I would go home, and I wouldn't have to get off of the space station, which seems almost worse than getting to the space station. So yes, I would trade places with someone there.
Awesome. That's so cool. Thanks for sharing. Welcome to the team. We're very, very happy to have you with us. Shane, let's pass it over to you for some metrics.
Yeah, great. So I had a song ready for the intro, but I didn't want to step over Michael's time there. So here's our intro song. It's not seasonally appropriate at all, but it's a great song. It's Waiting Room by Fugazi. If you're not familiar, just to make sure everybody knows who it is. All right, so I'm going to cut this off now, and we'll get right to the metrics. Let's see here. I'm going to just really skim this just to kind of give us a little bit of time back. You can go over this individually. If you have any questions, we can talk about it. Users, we're seeing this start to stabilize somewhat, didn't drop as much this week. New users were actually growing. So we're a little over 2% growth on the new user side of things, but I'm not going to change our metrics in midstream here. So just point at that silver lining. Page views pretty stabilizing, actually, I think trending up from the previous recap call we had. I think one of the things I want to point out on this section, though, specifically, is that we're seeing comparison and solutions page views start to increase. And those are both areas where we've spent some time and focus over the last few months. And so, the launch of the new comparison pages, the work that the product marketing team is doing on solutions, we're seeing that translate to increased page views. It's not making up for the other drops, but we are seeing these numbers start to climb back up. Getting to MQLs, the biggest concern I have here looking at this is we are seeing large MQL pace continue to drop. I anticipate this is just going to be what we see through December. It's just a time where especially at large enterprises, there's less and less time to get things done if their year ends December 31st. So keeping an eye on this though, and we'll keep track of efforts that we're looking at to make sure we're doing everything we can here. I don't see any questions in the agenda. I saw something in chat. Let me stop sharing my screen and see what we have here. Okay, the song. Cool. All right. So with no questions, then I'll pass it off to Michael for show and tell.
Thanks, Shane. I was just laughing about the Fugazi comments. So good. Saw them in a hockey arena in like a small town outside of the town I live in for like $8. So good. So show and tell. So really recommend screen sharing for this. Personally, I love this part. I love seeing what everybody's working on, and I love how it makes sure that we're all being considered here. So first off, we've got LB.
Okay.
Over to you, Lauren.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to show and tell. We added Nutify CMS to the code base. So now you can fire it up for local development. And this is going to allow us to really start engineering the template functionality. But here's a look at it, and you can see we have some of the topic pages in here. And you click on it, and here's where over here you can edit content, and then this gives you a preview of it. And this is the first iteration, and we're really excited to expand upon it. And I'll pass it over to the next person, Tina. Okay,
I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so what you're looking at here is some wireframes that represent the templates and blocks that will be available in the CMS that Lauren just shared. So these files that you can access whenever you want define the anatomy of the templates and editor items that will be available to content editors. We started with just like a light set and pressure tested the sets on existing content just to make sure that our recommendations can carry the work that's being done. At the same time, here we go. We also applied some of the work that's being done in parallel on the design system to those wireframes. We just want to make sure that the design system and layouts function in a CMS setting that's being used by multiple editors, because it's important that they look good and meet usability standards without having to go through a UX designer every time something needs to be published. That's it. Who's next? Becky, I think. I lost my document.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay,
Hi all, how you
thanks.
doing? I just have a quick thing to share. So this is something that I shared a quick video on, and I have to run by Michael. So all of this is work in progress, and it's just initial thoughts as I put together kind of the overview and strategy for the localization of the web pages. And this is very high level. So just on here, the goals were, we kind of want to capture intent and basic data. and then provide an avenue for users to share product value with the decision makers. And so kind of I've broken this down for the roadmap to 3 tactics, which was we're going to translate the demo video and provide translated gated entry in Q4, which means the website team has they don't have to do anything in Q4. And then we will create a landing page with top needed items to support marketing and sales. I just have Q1 on here, not an actual month. So Michael, no worries about that. This is just 1 page, and then translate the top 10 pages. So on the roadmap, these dates are very work in progress, but it has the stage with the description, the capabilities, and this is the mural link here that you can go in and look at. And then I broke it down into kind of like, here's what phase 1 could look like. And then here's what we would basically just need for phase 2 as a landing page to get a conversation going with Michael's team as to how we can execute that based on the asks from the larger marketing org and company for FY22. So that's what I've been doing. And we will have more information on that as time goes on. And then just a quick update, because we didn't have anything last week, it was shared, but the campaign tagline for the larger overarching CICD is going to be CICD seeing is believing, and that's going to be translated and used by the rest of the marketing org. So the upcoming GitHub universe, we are going to be, there's the homepage from it. We are going to be using an iteration of this because Luke and Matt's team had a really quick turnaround. So we are going to be using this, and this will be evolved over the next few weeks for the larger yearly campaign. And it's looking good so far. So thank you everybody who has helped put this together in time. And that's it for me on these things.
All right, I am next up. And so let's see here. Becky, I didn't interrupt you, did I? All right, good. She's shaking her head no. I have been working on getting Google Analytics data, Salesforce.com data into Google Analytics for some time, worked across multiple teams to get it in here, and I'm happy to report that the data is now live. And so we have 3 custom dimensions that capture data that syncs from Salesforce.com on a regular basis. I think it's once or twice a day. I set it for midnight, so it will come in at midnight Google Analytics time. So it's 6 o'clock our time, or my time, which is Central US. And then, but we have, so like you look here, you can see we have sales segment listed. So you can see what pages are visited by people that have become a lead, that are part of SMB, mid-market, large is in here as well. And then we also have, you can, like I said, you can see lead value, and I also believe the other one is lead status. So you can see, like, as it's moving through the sales cycle, where it falls into that category in Salesforce. So very excited about this development. There's a lot of additional things we can add in here, opportunities that we can really use to improve ROI for our marketing. So I'm going to make some videos about this and add it to the handbook and announce it more widely. But I was looking this morning and just saw that it was there, and I wanted to share it with this team specifically. So next up is Niall.
Hi, yeah. So last month in November, some of the projects we were executing was related to kind of internal link structure, focused on the topics pages. So the idea was to try and find related blog pages and reduce the bounce rate by giving them a path that they can travel to topics pages. So it's moving from awareness or pre-awareness and also ensuring that the intent was aligned so the engagement will retain. So just to show some of the impact, this is particular to the version control page within the topics folder. We can see that it's obviously it increases positioning because of the link equity. And that means that because we're linking related topics pages or related pages to the topics page, Google understands there's more authority there. So it kind of boosts your rankings. And also it gives an opportunity for users to travel deeper into the funnel. And just following last month's activities, just to check that they're today. So it shows that we're up from position 13, position 8. So we're now on to page 1 for the term version control for the topics page. but the metrics also show from the page that the overall engagement is way up. So it means that we are attracting the right customers into that section. We've seen a reduction in the bounce rates and increase in time of page on top of the overall traffic increase for both users and all users. So hopefully that's something that's been rolled out across the further folder. So it's just to show what the impact has been from last month's activities. So I'll just stop sharing and on to Bree.
Thanks, Niall. And thanks for sharing that, because that's awesome. I just put 2 links in here for case studies that were published in November. NebulaWorks is a engineering consultancy that's based in California, and they adopted GitLab for CI/CD, SCM. And the interesting part about this company is that the marketing team also uses GitLab. And then the other link in here is for VP, which is an e-commerce company based in France, and they adopted GitLab for CI/CD. And their deployments went from 4 days to 4 minutes. Is like the big highlight of that story. So feel free to read the whole thing. And Sanmi is next.
Thank you, Brie. So I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. And what we can see right now is the CI/CD announcement that we're going to be publishing between December 7th and December 11th. So this event is coming up on December 15th, and our users will be able to pre-register and get more information about this event. So this is ready with the mobile version, and we're going to be launching this tomorrow. So we're pretty excited. That's all for now. Thank you.
Looks like we're on to shoutouts here.
All right, so I am subbing in for Erica. So this is a place where anyone who wants to contribute and express gratitude for someone who really made an impact on their week. And it looks like Shane, you're first.
I am. Thank you, Chrissy. So I want to give a shout out to Lauren Brandon and Amy Waller for their help getting that Google Analytics form data into Marketo, and then helping really help to finalize that Salesforce.com sync with GA360. Couldn't have done it without them, and so I appreciate all their help. And I'll pass it back to Chrissy for her shout out.
Yeah, I have a great shout out for Vithika Mishra and Michael Friedrich, who Vithika is a senior product designer, and Michael is from the developer evangelism team. They helped me collaborate on my most recent blog post, how pre-filled CI/CD variables will make running pipelines easier. I know, very fascinating stuff, but they, Vithika's a product designer and just created a GIF for me, like on the fly, to like have a visual for my blog. And Michael sent me a whole bunch of resources, and they're in completely different parts of the world. And we just collaborated on this very last minute thing. And it's just a tribute to GitLab that we can all contribute on that kind of thing. So very happy for their help. And Danielle, you're next.
Yes, just wanted to say thank you to everyone. I didn't get any pings. I felt like I really was on vacation, and just very grateful. I actually got bugged a little bit about like getting off Slack. So I think I hopefully approved all your expense reports and stuff, but just that was really nice. And I hope it's not just me, because I'm like the leader of the team, getting to have that experience. I really hope that's actually how other people's vacation experience is. So if that's not the experience that you're having, maybe let me know privately so we can work on it. But if that is the experience you're having, that's the dream, right? That we go on vacation and we come back. And yeah, with the holidays coming up, I'm hoping that everybody gets to have that. So yeah, thank you. I think next up is Becky.
Me? Okay, thank you. So my list is Parker for helping pull together the overarching messaging for the CI campaign, Erica for sitting down and brainstorming how we should align all of their various messages for the competitive campaigns, Demand Gen is doing, corporate market is doing, and her team for taking the reins on that. Luke and Matt for the Rush CI/CD, seen as believing concept, and the continued iteration on the branding for that campaign. And then Kathy on the legal team for getting a very important SOW over the line for me because of the timeline was super tight and she was great on all the back and forth. So thank you. Now over to Tyler.
Hey, sorry, mid-type here. Yeah, I just, thanks everyone. It's been such a welcoming experience, as I expressed earlier, but a special shout out to Tanmi for, I scheduled our coffee chat for like next week, and then he slacked me. He's like, hey, do you want to do that now? And I just really appreciated that. And it was super fun, and like we had a great conversation. And I'm glad we got to do it yesterday as opposed to waiting a whole week to have that. And it gives me an extra week on my new mission in life, which is to convince him to love Ruby, the programming language, as it deserves to be loved. So I got a little extra time there.
I think that brings us to the end of the shout outs. Anybody else forget to say something awesome they want to share? Last call. Wonderful. So just for everyone who may not know, we do record these because we put them up on our YouTube channel, GitLab Unfiltered. And a lot of other teams are starting to get into that. So there are a lot of great videos there, especially for folks who are newer or maybe just don't know as much about the other parts of marketing. Check it out. There's a new CMO staff updates playlist that Todd's asked us to organize. This video will go in that playlist in addition to the playlist that has all these videos. So I guess for the sake of YouTube, if you think these videos are really cool and you like to watch us work, you can subscribe. I guess that's what YouTube stars do, right, guys? So cool. Well, have a great week, everybody. What is it?
Yeah, you gotta hit the bell so you get notified. Subscribe and hit the bell.
There we go. Okay, I got to work on this whole YouTube star thing.
And you got to smash that. So smash that like button.
Oh,
Yeah.
Smash that like button. I feel so cool now. Amazing. Well, these are great updates. So I'll see you all in marketing strategy tactics in just a minute. Bye.